start the day with the right intention and with the right mindset. The law of attraction states that if you are sitting in a frequency of, low vibration, let's say, so if you are waking up and you're angry and you're frustrated and you're full of shame or regret or guilt, then what you will do is you will then attract things into your life that match that frequency.
Just a quick interruption for the video, guys. As many of you know, we are independent creators and filmmakers, but there is a massive attack on us right now. Traditional media over the last few years has started to slowly die. They are no longer the independent voice that you first thought they were. That's why we've created Mulligan Brothers Patreon. We've built something special for our most dedicated supporters, and I want to break it down for you real quick. The supporter tier gets you ad-free early access to both video and audio versions of Mulligan Brothers interviews 24 hours before it goes public. The executive tier gets you everything that a supporter tier gets, plus more. Exclusive interviews and behind the scenes content, walk and talks, daily routines, unreleased interviews, the stuff that you don't see anywhere else. And finally, the executive producer tier. Everything from the supporter tier and the executive tier, plus exclusive perks. Access to our treatment packages. Be the first to see which guests are coming up and get insight into the topics we'll be discussing before anyone else. And you'll even get an executive producer credit on every single documentary that we make. So if you've ever wanted to support the Mulligan Brothers mission of inspiring change so we can go around the world and get these stories that nobody else will, this is exactly how you do it. Go to patreon.com/Mulligan Brothers or click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Join the community and help us inspire change. Let's dive back into the video.
The one thing that you mentioned is like attraction and bringing things in. Where's for me with like the law of attraction and manifestation? Is there a confusion around that? Like, is there a separation?
Yeah. So I would say that the law of attraction is a part of the manifestation process. So the law of attraction says that like attracts like. And so what it kind of says is, everything in the universe is made up of energy. And what differentiates, let's say us from the chair beneath us is the density and frequency of the vibration of the atom. So you have things that have a high vibrational frequency and things that have a low vibrational frequency. And emotions have different vibrational frequencies as well. So you have high vibrational emotions such as peace, love, contentment, joy. And then you have low vibrational emotions such as shame, anger, resentment. And the law of attraction states that if you are sitting in a frequency of, low vibration, let's say, so if you are waking up and you're angry and you're frustrated and you're full of shame or regret or guilt, then what you will do is you will then attract things into your life that match that frequency. And on the other hand, if you're actually in a place of, gratitude and love and joy, then you're in a high vibrational frequency and you will attract things that match that frequency, that high vibrational frequency. And I think that anecdotally, we absolutely see this in everyday life. So, the days where you wake up and you are in a terrible mood, and those just seem to be the days where you forget your phone, someone sends you an email that pisses you off, you get stuck in the worst traffic, whatever it is. Whereas the days where you are full of joy, you're full of gratitude, I come back to gratitude again, but when you're in that feeling of deep appreciation for everything that you already have, those are the times where, an amazing opportunity seems to come through, where you're driving to work and all the traffic lights are green. So I think that we know that our vibration matters, but I think it is really important for people to understand the power that they hold. And I saw this clip actually on Instagram yesterday. It was a neuroscientist saying that if we, think about something for 17 seconds, we change our frequency. And so if we just were to hold on to a thought and a feeling of gratitude for 17 seconds, and we could just repeat that, then imagine that we are shifting our frequency so quickly and easily and changing what we bring into our lives.
It's so interesting because rumination is the destroyer of that. And the idea of 17 seconds doesn't seem long, but then when you're in that negative mindset and that negative headspace, you can break it in 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So is this why you wake up with gratitude? Is this why you put that as part of your morning routine? Yeah,
so I learned really early on that our subconscious was most susceptible to positive messaging at three times of the day. So as we're waking up in those kind of waking states when our brain waves are in a theta brainwave, as we're falling asleep and when we're in a meditative state. And so this is when we can actually really prime our subconscious and fill it with these kind of like nourishing and empowering thoughts. So the way that I do it is that when I wake up, as soon as I wake up, especially if, like, for example, this morning I woke up and I'd had really horrible nightmares and I was like, oh my God, shit, I don't want this to set the tone for the rest of my day. So as soon as I woke up, I opened my eyes, I started repeating, today is going to be an incredible day. I'm so excited for what's coming. I'm grateful for all that I already have. And so you're really setting the intention for the day, the tone for the day. And remember that our subconscious's job is, one of its jobs is to make our thoughts true. And so it will try to find evidence to support whatever it is it believes and thinks about. And that is a cognitive bias. So if you are waking up and you are saying to yourself, today is going to be a great day, I'm ready for any challenges that come my way, I'm so, I am so confident and I step into this day with an empowered energy, whatever it is you're saying it to yourself. As you go out throughout your day, your subconscious will try to find evidence to support that. Whereas if you are waking up and you are saying, I'm so tired, I can't be bothered for today, can't bother to go to work, today's going to be so shit, this person's probably going to piss me off again, whatever it is, your brain is going to go around finding evidence to support that. And so I think it's really important that we start the day with the right intention and with the right mindset. And again, similar for the evening, we're about to go into a deep sleep where our subconscious is going to process everything that's happened in the day. So it's really nice time and opportunity to kind of flood ourselves with positive thoughts. So the easiest way to do this, and this is what I started doing, this was the first technique I ever used, is I would fall asleep to affirmation meditations. I mean, it's so easy. All you have to do is fall asleep. So I would just press play on an affirmation meditation, which is just a meditation with positive affirmations being repeated over the top of it. And that's it. Fall asleep to it. It's such a nice, easy tool to use.
That's what I was going to ask. So I want to get into the hard work of this as well, because there is a completely flip opposite side of what we're going to about to speak about. But is there a few like mind hacks that are just like cheat codes? Like it's dead easy, we can leak it into our subconscious, and it's not much effort.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of them is, falling asleep to meditations, affirmation meditations. I think even, you use that, when you're commuting on the way to work, on the tube, those times where you're doing things mindlessly or when you're not having to use much brain power, can you just put some positive messaging into your mind? Could you be listening to a really great podcast like this one? Could you be listening to an affirmation meditation? Could you be, what I used to love doing is pressing play on motivational YouTube clips while I was getting ready in the morning. So every morning when I was putting my makeup on, I still do it sometimes when I need a little pick me up. Just like easy things like that, where you just have to listen and you don't even have to be like totally present in it. You can just be going about your day or doing things that you usually do, waiting for the kettle to boil, something like that. Have a positive affirmation as your screensaver so that every time you open your phone 1,000,000 times a day, you can see something positive and empowering. So I think it's just finding these really little moments where you can just inject some positivity into your life. Having an evening gratitude practice is so powerful and so easy. Really only requires a couple of minutes. So I have this one that I share in the book called a positivity journal, which is where you just write down everything good that happened in the day from the moment you woke up. And so you write down things, and the smaller the better. I woke up and the sun was shining, my coffee tasted good, I had a delicious breakfast, I made it to work on time, I made my bed, whatever it is. And what you realize is each day is filled with these really beautiful moments that otherwise just go completely unnoticed. And it really does work to reprogram your mind to focus your attention on all the good in your life. So as you're going about your day, you will notice that suddenly you pay attention to things that otherwise you might have ignored. So it's a really powerful, easy practice.
Yeah, I think that's the easy side of it. Then there's the difficult side of it. And I think when you say the word woo-woo, I like that. I really like, because I think when I've seen people invest into manifestation, a lot of them do invest into that. They feel like it's a really easy, quick way to have success in their lives, that this was the missing ingredients. And I know I said about Jim Carrey, that was the first time I heard about manifestation. I love
that story. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wrote a $10 million check for acting services rendered. And I think it was like 3 or 4 years later on this, I think it was just after he'd finished Dumber and Dumber, he gets the check. Yeah. I did the exact same thing. I wrote a check, $10 million out my mum's checkbook, and she laughed at me because she was like, "You're not cashing that." And I stuck it on my fridge for at the time for playing basketball. It didn't come to fruition, but I did put work behind it. And I think that's the thing with the Jim Carrey story is people don't see the missing ingredient of that he worked his arse off, like absolutely committed to everything. And I think that's one of these misconceptions around this. And then for the people who are on the other side of it, who are like quite pragmatic and are like manifestations bullshit, is like in reality, like there's a middle ground here where they kind of need to fall between.
Totally.
What's the hard work side of it? Like, what is the actual taking action side of it?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll also just say that this book is the perfect book for cynics.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's why it's been so successful, is because when you think about those 7 steps, you do not have to be in any way spiritual. It is so obvious that if you start to figure out your goals and believe in yourself and take action and do the work, that you will achieve what you want to achieve and you will progress. And at the very least, you will make some kind of positive change in your life, you know, whether it's small, but it won't be. It will be great and wonderful and transformative. So yeah, but I mean, the hard work, you know, I think the hard work is committing to wanting to better yourself. Because I think a lot of that requires consistency, determination, effort, and constant daily choices. You know, you have to constantly make a choice to do something differently to the way you were doing it before. And it's a lot easier to stay doing things that we've always done. You know, our subconscious really likes familiarity. So it really wants to keep dragging you back into old patterns, old thinking patterns. It encourages you to self-sabotage. And you really have to be conscious of all the ways that it's actually, you know, unknowingly and trying to, you know, hold you back and hold back your progress. And you have to be willing to kind of overcome that discomfort and find a new way of living and behaving and thinking. And then it's really about taking risks and being brave enough to step outside your comfort zone and be disciplined and know that it's not always going to feel good all the time. You know, you don't always want to get up early. You don't always want to go and put yourself in positions and situations that make you feel uncomfortable, but you're going to do it for the greater good. And I think that, you know, if I think back to my journey, you know, I posted this little video on Instagram yesterday, or this photo carousel where I kind of said, like, you know, my first workshop was in November 2019. It was like I'd hired an old church and it was like £200 and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was so nervous. My legs were like jelly. I had my entire script printed and I kept looking at it every 5 seconds to read it. And I had, you know, my boyfriend behind a curtain in like a cubbyhole pressing play on the iPhone. I'd nod to him and, you know, so it was kind of like, it was, and I look back and it was cringy and it was, you know, bless it. Like, I think it's so cute. I feel like compassionate, but, you know, it wasn't great. It was mediocre at best. But I did it even though I knew I was at the beginning and I was willing to just take the risk. And it was only, you know, 3 years later that I was selling out 2,000 tickets at Alexandra Palace, you know. So, and that didn't happen by just me, you know, visualizing what I wanted and waiting for it. It took a lot of hard work and effort and, you know, constantly putting myself in situations where I felt really nervous and not ready, but doing it anyway. Everybody is manifesting all the time, even if they're not aware of it. Our thoughts and our mindset and the way that we feel ourselves are constantly dictating the reality that we experience. Every day you wake up, you're a different version of yourself, but you decide which kind of version you want to be. Do you want to be better than the person you were yesterday, the same, or worse?